And Jason Bible. Get the answer to your question that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding
We're gonna
today.
do this.
Please come inside. Hey, welcome, Facebook folks.
Get ready. The guys that will put your fears behind you are on the air now. They're taking calls at 713-785-1817. Toll free 877-881-0271. Here's Tom and Jason.
All right, guys, hot mics.
Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Right Path Real Estate Radio. Tom and Jason are live on the air today. It's Wednesday. Hey, welcome back,
Wednesday.
man.
It is Wednesday.
Yeah, long time since you've been on the show.
September, I think, would have been the last time. Yeah.
So October, November, December. You've been doing a little bit of real estate since then.
A little bit of real estate. Been kind of busy driving around doing real estate. I was chatting with Rob yesterday. Couple of doors. Rob and I had a really interesting meeting yesterday. We may be doing some ground
Some
up.
listeners may not know Robert Orfino, yeah.
So Robert Orfino is our business partner in the American Real Estate Meetup.
Which is a real estate club.
Estate club,
right.
Yep. And then we're also partners in a fund. So fund's not ready. I don't even know if I'm supposed to talk about the radio show. But anyway, so fund, I heard him on the phone with our SEC attorney yesterday. And so anyways, we're going ahead and buying real estate that we're going to plop right into the fund. And so we've picked up just multi-unit doors. So excluding single family, we've picked up 67 doors since September. Some of those have closed, some of them not.
Yeah, some are under contract. You're in the due diligence phase.
Yeah, we're doing some of that. Some of them were closed, and we've already got rehabs going on and all that kind of stuff. And then we bought a bunch of single family, but that's all going in my wife's portfolio. So she's got 3. She's closing on the refi Friday, we think. I think they got everything they need to get that done. But yeah, I mean, we're out there buying real estate, checking out some other markets outside of Houston, which has been kind of fun. We had a lunch yesterday.
So I can imagine that people are asking, like, oh, okay, so first off, we've always been kind of anti-multifamily.
Yeah, I want to bring it up in the show today. So we've been anti-multifamily. So here's what's happened.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me a deal, I want to say a month and a half ago, maybe. So I get this text message, and it's like, hey, I got this multifamily deal. It's an 8-unit for $130,000.
Sure.
And it's currently rented at $500 a door, but it needs work. And I'm like, okay, fine. And I'm like, let's do the deal, right?
Sure.
So then I don't know, maybe
where is that?
It's down in Corpus Christi.
You've already closed on that one.
I've already closed on that one.
Yeah,
It's down in Corpus Christi. Yeah. So then in a different market, I get another message. Hey, there's a 20. I heard you bought this multifamily deal. Hey, there's a 30-unit that we think you can pick up for $18K a door. It's already rented, and we think it's under rent. The seller finally wants to sell. It's been on the market for 1 million years. They've been in and out of contract 3 or 4 times. It's just a total mess, and they're ready to be done with it. I said, okay, fine. And so we're under we've got a verbal. They're clearing up some legal issues with their last buyer because they weren't able to close. And
the buyer failed to perform.
And so we've got that one under contract for well under $1 million. So,
which is how much a door?
20-something a door. Okay. After rehab, probably 30 a door. It's rented at $500 for some of the units, $600 for the other. When you look at market rents, they're actually closer to $800. So people are starting to ask me like, oh, I know you and Tom were so anti-multifamily. And I'm like, well, I'm actually Chris Funk put it best on one of my Facebook feeds. He said, we're anti-multifamily at $60,000 a door on cross timbers, right?
Right. Yeah, of course.
It's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And over the last 7 or 8 years, that's all we've seen, right? Like these crazy multifamily deals that don't make any sense. And so I think word has gotten out, and I undervalued this piece. And what I undervalued is, if you're a real closer, if you're a real deal maker, how much the world opens up to you. So we were at lunch yesterday talking to a guy that's doing a lot of land plays, a lot of land development. He's doing really, really well. And he said, hey, man, I just picked up 15 lots just outside of Houston. Are you guys interested in them? I said, well, how big are the lots? And we started doing the math, and we're like, you know what? Let's put duplexes on there. Mm-hmm. And he said, y'all have people who can do new construction? We said, not only we have that, we have 125% loan product for new construction. So we've got all the pieces there.
Right, sure.
And he just looks at us. He goes, "This is a pretty good lunch, wasn't it?" I was like, "This wasn't a bad lunch." So I'm getting into some stuff that I would not recommend for the new investor, right? It's not something I mean, we kind of talk about it on Facebook, but it's not something, brand new guy, works in corporate America, wants to buy a handful of rental properties. I wouldn't recommend doing these deals because this is more for
most of these deals are. I wouldn't say that this is passive. I mean,
this is not passive.
Hard to do an 8-unit multifamily in Corpus Christi passively, right? Because you're not going to have an on-site manager. And you will have a manager in the Corpus
I got a
Christi,
property manager.
in the Corpus Christi market. But so how many trips have you made to Corpus Christi so far?
One.
Just okay, perfect.
I just drove down there, and really I drove down there to meet with the vice president who runs Section 8 and the folks that run the VASH program for the Veterans Assistance Program. That was the only reason I went down there. I won't go down there unless it's to meet with those folks. I'm not going down there to that property. I literally drove by it, looked at it. I'm like, yeah, it looks decent, needs some work. We've already done the roof. We're going in and doing it's already got new electrical service, and the panels can handle the larger mini split systems. So now we're putting in all the electrical to upgrade to the mini split system. So if you're looking at housing or the Veterans Assistance Program, and we haven't decided if we're going to go that route yet, but we're going to go ahead and rehab it to that level. We want to go with the 220 volt. This is probably going to get terribly boring for everybody, right? So anyways, they draw less power. For some reason, I do all bills paid. I want to, it's a nicer product than going in and trying
mini
to...
splits are great in terms of efficiency and all that. But we have such a low cost of energy in Texas that doesn't normally make sense. You know that we did one in the Galveston Beach House, and I have to say I love it. It's a 3-zone panel, but I also know that it was probably at least double the cost of what a conventional system would have been.
So here's the cool thing. Matt has hooked us up with a supplier that actually builds those for Samsung and everybody else.
Right.
And they essentially it's kind of like buying the off-brand TV.
Yeah, right.
It just doesn't have Samsung on it.
Right.
So we found that supplier. Obviously it's a Chinese supplier, and they bring them in. They're distributors actually in Mexico, and they run them right up through the valley and through Corpus. So we're going to get a lot of these mini split systems. I mean, we're talking it's installed like $1,500 maybe.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So, and as you know, using these things, it turns the place into a meat locker pretty quick, and they're crazy efficient.
Right. Yeah.
Especially since we're going to go with the 220 volt systems instead of the 110. So, anyways, this is putting everybody to sleep, getting into the machinations of these things. I've learned more about this stuff than I care to share. But we've got that deal going. We bought 4 beach houses, and we want to do Airbnb, but I'm like, we don't even have to do Airbnb. They're renting them by the week for the guys that are doing turnarounds in Freeport at $500 a week. So there's all these different deals.
Yeah, $500 a week is not bad.
That is not bad.
Right.
And I think right now we'll probably be all in for somewhere between $330 and $370, depending on the type of rehab we need to do.
Again, back for 8 doors.
This is 4 units. I'm talking about the Surfside deal we're doing now. But to go back to the 8 unit, we'll be all in at my guess is $225. The guys down there, my property management company and some contacts I have down there, they think the rehab's only going to be $50. I went ahead and budgeted way more than that. I'm already in for $130. I figure if it goes over budget by $50,000, I'm okay with that. So we'll be in for $225, renting for somewhere between $800 and $900 per door per month. Now, I will tell you this, insurance is crazy expensive down there. To get windstorm and all the other stuff is $7,000 a year. That was kind of a shocker for me. I knew it would be expensive. But what's funny is flood's only $700.
But comparing that kind of insurance on a price per door basis, like if you were buying single family, so if you could buy single families for $30,000 a door that rents for $800 or $900, I think anybody would jump on that. So the fact that you get them all together for that, I mean, so you have to keep us posted in terms of how those numbers bear out when you get them leased up and all that.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've already. I didn't transition the property management company in fast enough, so they were calling the agent saying, "Where do we need to drop off our rent checks?"
Oh gosh!
And I'm like, let me get on that. Yeah. We were going back and forth, but I hadn't signed all the docs and stuff. So in any case, I think it's going to be a good little deal. It's not something it's not for the new investor. It's not for listen to the show. I want to be a passive real estate. This is not those kind of deals. This is what you'd see, guys like you or I, professional real estate investors that do this every day. This is the kind of deals we do. I will tell you the fun one. While I was still over here in Right Path, I contracted and closed on 4 duplexes out in Stafford. And this is a classic deal where a wholesaler sends out a deal. I'm looking at my phone, and then I pull it up on MLS, and I see 4 more properties in that same submarket. We bought everything. I said, I don't care what the price is, buy it all. And the reason we did that is I noticed that there were houses near there that were renting for $1,500 a door. And these properties rented between $1,100 and $700 a door, meaning these tenants have been there so long they never raised the rents. So sent it over to Property Care, Jerry Taub. We finished a rehab on one, evicted the tenant on the other, and the new leases are $11.95 a month.
Wow.
We haven't closed on that lease yet, but he said we're already getting tons of inquiries. He said so now we bought, and I want to say our average all-in's $150,000 to $165,000 per building,
not per door. So $75 per door.
Let's call it $80,000 a door, and we're going to get $1,200 a month per door. That was a home run deal, and I'll tell you what's crazy. They were on the market forever.
Yeah.
Nobody really looked at all the numbers around there, and I'm like, we're going to kill it on these things. So, guess we're going to a break.
Yeah, the music says we're out of time for this first segment, so you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Thanks for tuning in, and please stay tuned through the rest of the break.
Mike's off.
Hey, good morning, Glenn. Good morning, Billy. Good morning, Christina. Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, Ginger. Good morning, Nora. Nikki, I don't have to say good morning to you again. Hey, good morning, Richard. Good morning, Jeff. Daniel. Billy. Good morning. George, good morning. Good morning, Stephen.
To help you with repair costs. Jet Lending has originated over 2,000 loans in Texas, valued at over $250 million. Jet Lending will help you evaluate your deals for free and give you feedback on value, cost of repairs, and potential loan amount. Jet Lending is your fast and friendly.
Yeah, I got to tell you, man, I've had this hankering for building duplexes and quads, like everything 4 and below. If we could subdivide it, I think we're going to be able to do it. If you could build it $75 a foot, you can go in and build a whole. Tell you, we got a guy in our group that's building them at $65 a foot right now, and I'm like, oh, well, how are you doing that? Not including land.
Selecting a company and their product for repair is a lot like a game of chess.
I don't know that that's
You
doable.
simply don't know what
I don't know.
He's
He's doing it. Is he doing it in Houston at 65 a foot? And the problem is that as you move out further and further, I'm like, I don't think you could do that in Morton, for example, or certainly couldn't do it. I mean, obviously this house in Point Comfort, it's finally supposed to be finished like next week. I mean, which is.
Did you do like a big rehab on it, or did you just do
No.
So like paint and fix the flooring?
I mean, we did quite a bit. I mean, honestly, it wasn't. I mean, nothing really. I mean, there was only one bathroom, so it's complete gut of the bathroom. Everything's new there, but it wasn't a complete gut of the kitchen. And yeah, it was flooring and paint and stuff like that, light fixtures, plumbing fixtures, that kind of stuff. So it wasn't major. And there was no foundation or roof or any significant plumbing issues or so the big 4, they were all HVAC was actually didn't even need to be replaced. And so,
but your labor market's so tight down there, right? I mean, it's like 3 guys.
And I've got no contacts down there. So, and it turns out our first guy that we got, driving through the neighborhood, found a guy that was working on a house. Turns out I'm convinced he was a meth head.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
And that's like these Corpus deals. If Matt wasn't down there, I wouldn't be doing them. They're just, I don't have a point. Just a guy to go down there and put eyes on something, right? Otherwise, it's a 3-hour trip to get down there.
Yeah.
How much it's worth.
And I've been down to Point Comfort twice.
But it's kind of like when we made that pitch to Matt. I'm like, if you don't join Right Path, Tom and I got to go down and open up Corpus house buyers, because I think that's a sweet market.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Eddie and I were talking about it the other night at the Redneck Country Club. He's like, what do you think of it down there? I said, I think it's like Beaumont, but more upscale. because you got the
it's
beach.
so much
you got,
bigger than Beaumont.
Well, it's obviously it's a lot bigger,
Right.
But it reminds me of that market, right, where you've got a lot of blue collar, but you got white collar stuff, and you got like vacation stuff. I'm like, it's a neat little market down there.
I would invest in Corpus way before Beaumont. I'm not a huge.
You're not a huge Beaumont fan?
Yeah, not really.
Well, I think
because people actually move to Corpus.
Well,
I don't know
true.
that anybody really goes, hey, we're going to leave Asheville, Kentucky, and come to Beaumont. I mean, I don't know that that's an up. Where are you coming from that Beaumont's the upgrade?
Over the last 6 years,
I'm not trying to hate on Beaumont, but it's like, I don't know.
So that when I went down there, I drove through Rockport, and it surprised me. I thought Rockport would be in more rough shape from Harvey, but they have turned it around quick.
Insurance has paid off down there.
Yeah. Well, and there was already a bunch of money down there anyway, right? It was kind of this little secret.
Yeah, right.
Really does manage it all.
Morning, Pa. Good morning, Robert.
832-742.
Jake and Elwood are back. That's funny.
That's 832-742-9992, or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
This is Business 11.
Off air, I'd love to know, Robert, which one you're calling Jake and which one Elwood.
All right, fellas, we ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Hot mics.
Hey, welcome back. Yeah, I'm not tall enough to be Jake, and I'm not heavy enough to be Elwood.
Yeah, there you go.
So anyhow. All right, well, so you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. So Daniel's saying a property that didn't sell at an auction was told from attorney info would be at Harris County. Can I still buy from the owner? What are the advantages and disadvantages of buying this way? Well, buying from an owner, yeah, of course you can do that. If it didn't sell at auction, that means that the foreclosure, and I assume that you mean in a tax auction, not a trustee auction. Because if it didn't sell at the trustee auction, then that means that it would have sold because the trustee is actually going to bid on behalf of. Well, that's interesting. Our live video just got interrupted.
Oh, it's okay. It's probably a Facebook issue.
Yeah,
just keep rolling.
So anyhow, so that's the case. If it's a trustee auction, then the bank or whoever was foreclosing through the trustee would have bid up to the minimum or the maximum amount that was owed by whoever the lender was. Now, if it's a tax auction, what happens is that the tax auction, the first time that it goes to the auction, let's say that they owe, I don't know, $30,000 in taxes. And so it's got to go for at least the full amount of the tax that's owed based on the years that the county sued for. So if when it goes to auction, no one bids at least the minimum bid, which is 30, then it passes. And then that means that the county hasn't actually taken over, but it will go back to auction probably in 90 days, 120 days maybe. It takes them 2 or 3 months. This is all the law firm that's I just went blank on the name. I
was going to say lawful. It's not lawful. I remember here in a minute.
Yeah, me too.
We'll remember in 10 minutes.
Yeah, right.
When it's not important
anyhow,
anymore, right?
so when they take it back to foreclosure, then it'll go back for a lower dollar amount. And so then that's what the issue is.
But you can totally buy that property if just go to the owner. It's just the county just wants to get paid.
Yes.
Or the mortgage lien holder wants to get paid, right? They don't want it to really take it to foreclosure. So all you've got to do is get it under contract, drop it in front of your title company. They'll get the payoff, and boom, you're off to the races. So no big deal there. We've done that a gazillion times, right? Where they're, I'm getting foreclosed on. I finally want to sell it, and you're like, okay, well, we need to be quick here.
Yeah. The problem comes is that when those guys want to do it on Thursday, and it's going to auction on Tuesday, that becomes more of an issue, and because there's many times that you've got not only the tax issue, but you also have an issue with airships and things like that. It's oftentimes the person that is wanting to sell the property, they're not actually entitled. Now because they've not done everything to take their ancestor, their grandfather, or whoever it was. That's the person. So you've got to create a chain for the title company. And that just takes some time because you got to get death certificates, you got to get affidavits of heirship, you've got to get all those kind of things, and that takes some time. So
I will tell you right now, you need to go to the patent law firm, Texas American Title. Do not goof around with Joe Blow, homegrown title company, whatever. This is one of those things where you got to get it done. You got to get it done quick. So
well,
and
we've
you've gotta
also
work
found that there's some shady stuff that goes on at some title companies. Not gonna out anybody on
Shady
the air,
business.
but we've discovered some stuff that's extremely shady that would make us extremely nervous. But
your deal's falling out. All of a sudden, the title company buying them. That's
right.
kind of weird.
That's
huh?
weird. Yeah, that's so anyhow. Tim, yeah, me too. You're seeing that too, Tim. So yeah.
So reason
Enough
I was talking about those deals is not to toot my own horn, but to let you guys know that there are plenty of deals out there.
Oh yeah.
Now you've got to understand the process. Like, what are the houses I'm looking? Well, what is it I'm trying to accomplish first, right? Am I buying the asset in which will get me to my goals, right? And like, let's back into what all that looks like, and then go out there and start buying these things. How do I have the right money, the right contractor, the right title company, kind of all that stuff. And I think that's what you guys do a good job of here in Right Path. Here's the whole team. We were talking earlier about, hey, if I didn't have a team down in Corpus already, I wouldn't be buying houses down there. I'd just keep buying them up here in Houston until I built that out. So, when I look, even somebody with my experience, when I look into a market right now, I'll tell you another market I'm looking at right now is Oklahoma City. When I look at a market like OKC, I want to spend some time up there getting to know some of the other investors, maybe a year or so before I even start investing in that market. Who are the guys that have got contacts with property management companies? Who are the real legit title companies up there? Although I'll just call Texas American, like, hey, can you open an office? I was like, hey, y'all have a Corpus office? Like, no, we don't have a Corpus office. Like, you really need one there. Anyway, so
Yeah, for the two properties.
For the two properties I'm doing right now. I mean,
yeah, open an office.
Yeah, open an office, please. So, in any case, you start going down the list of what you need to build your team. So when you're a pioneer in another market, you've got to get to know all the other traders in there and who's really doing business and who isn't. And who are you willing to work with? Because this is what will happen. You start to get really good at one of these markets, you become known as a market maker.
Yeah, you're the player.
You're the A player in that market. But I can guarantee you, deals will start coming to me that I'm not going to want to buy because I bought as many as I want down there or whatever. And then we can trade deals back and forth and contractors back and forth and all that other stuff. And so it works really well in this little symbiotic real estate investor community. But the challenge is you've got to start that somewhere first, right? So for those of you who are not in Houston or those of you who are here in Houston, you guys have got the whole team here in Houston to go find the deals, to fund the deals, to market for the deals, to get them turned around and rented and all that other stuff. And I think that's I don't think the actual real estate's not really that hard. It's all the people you've got to get moving in the same
network,
direction, right? Yeah, it's that network.
Yeah, because like in Houston, every deal that I've ever done in Houston is really easy for me because my network is here.
Yeah.
And so then, and I was reluctant to do the deal in Point and Comfort. You remember when? Yeah. Because there's not really, first off, I know that the labor pool's not that big. I don't really know the rental market. I went down there, tried to find, the first guy. Turns out I'm convinced he's a meth guy. And, user, not distributor.
Hey, I looked at a 12-unit last week that I think everybody in there was on meth. And if you guys need any, I think I know where to get it. It's one of those places.
We're not that show.
Yeah.
Right. But,
it came with an operating business, came with a, manufacturer and distribution.
Right.
It was great.
But I tell you what I ended up doing is just realizing that I got on the phone one day on a weekend because on a Saturday, and I decided because there's really no agents in Point Comfort, so they're in Port Lavaca. So I thought, well, I wonder if I could try and talk to the top 5 agents in Port Lavaca. I mean, there might be 100 agents in Port Lavaca, but if I talk to the top 5. So sure enough, I did a Google search and tried to see who are the top 5 in terms of producers, things like that, and I feel like I found all 5 of them. Started making phone calls. Guess how many actually answered their phone on a Saturday at about 10:30 in the morning?
1.
Yes.
And that was probably the number 1 guy in that market.
Yes.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Now, only one person answered their phone, and then sure enough, I'm going to ask that guy. I said, "Hey, look, I'm a licensed agent, but I, don't want to go down to Point Comfort. Do you list in Point?" He goes, "Yeah, I'll do it. No problem. I've listed a lot in there. I know the market well. Let me go by and take a look at the property." And I said, "Hey, I don't suppose you have a contractor, do you?"
And he's like, I just happened to, because a lot of times they're real estate investors too, right? They're like,
it turns out
I know a couple of guys. Yeah.
And so sure enough, he goes, "Yeah, let me text you over his number right now." And then I called that guy. Guess what? He was doing work on a Saturday on the real estate agent's house, not his personal residence, but one of his investment homes. So he already knows what that guy likes.
Mm-hmm.
So I have him go out, walk the house, gives me a bid that same day. I mean, it's reasonable. I mean, he's been doing the work for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's that, and it's so funny because when you get into those circles, and I think that's what's really important, that you get involved in an organization that's actually doing real estate,
Yes.
because it is really, really hard to be a brand new investor and then to sign up for some national coaching program that is sitting in a hotel lobby pitching you a real estate education seminar is gone next week. It's like, okay, well, I'm investing in this market. Where are those market tools?
Yeah.
Can I pick up the phone and get 10 steps down the process of getting getting an asset, getting it stabilized, getting it back on the market?
Well, and what their sales pitch is like, oh, we've got everything kind of in a box, a business in a box,
Business
sort of
in a box, yeah.
And it's like, all you got to do is, we've got these pre-done stamps for kitchens or bathrooms or whatever, and it's like but you give that to a local contractor here, and they're like, man, we don't do it like that. And they're like, you can take your stamp someplace else.
Yeah, yeah. Here's our contracts. It says that this is what everybody should use, and you look at it and you go, this is not how real estate actually works.
Not here in Houston. I mean, might be. And
I'll tell you this:
California.
the little business in a box. I'll tell you right now, it doesn't have that guy's phone number in it from down there, right?
No, it doesn't.
Probably doesn't have a list of. Or a procedure of, hey, we're buying houses in a new market. What's the first couple of things we should do? I like finding the HomeFesters guys. Go find the HomeFesters guys. Talk to the bigger title companies. Talk to the bigger agents. Go to a couple networking events. Right. And you've got to, how do you discern the folks who are actually doing real estate from the guys that just talk and know the vocabulary? I mean, we used to have a gal that would work with us, Jamie, and I thought she said this the best way. She said, most people play dress up.
Yeah.
They dress up like they're a real estate investor. They know the terms, they know the math, but they're not doing it.
Right.
So you've got to distill down to, okay, who are my guys that are doing this?
Yeah.
Because I got to find a flooring guy. I got to find a roofing guy. I got to find a property management company that's good, that'll list it, that'll take care of the asset. And you've got to get around those people. Otherwise,
Jason,
you're wasting your time.
If somebody says, but you're an agent, why don't you just list it yourself? I'm like, I
don't know that market, right? You don't have time for that.
And I don't want to sign up for MLS and Port Lavaca just for one deal.
Yeah, could you imagine you signed up with a dozen MLSs right across the country? And it takes what, couple weeks to do that? It's like, come on.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Just call that guy and say, because he's going to make money, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, hey, man, hook me up with all your contacts, and you guys can have the listing. He's like, okay.
Yeah, right.
Here's all my guys. Here's my title company. Here's everybody. I mean, that's how business really works, and I think a lot of people believe that.
And there's some accountability back and forth.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if Dallas says, "Hey, I don't really like the rehab," I'm like, it's your guy. I mean, like,
exactly.
You need to do these things in order for me to list the house. I'm like, he's just doing the things that you normally like anyway. So anyhow,
it works out real well. But you've got to have that network of doers, not a network of newbies.
Yeah, you and I have talked about this also. How many people that we meet, and hey, what do you do? Oh, I'm a real estate investor. Oh yeah, how many deals you do? And he goes, oh, I've never done one yet. And I go, okay, well then I'm a brain surgeon.
Yeah, I'm a brain surgeon. Yeah,
I've never done one of those either.
I'm a race car driver.
Yeah,
and I play professional football.
Yeah, right.
You didn't see me. I'm on the line right next to JJ. He's kind of bigger than me, so
I'm in his shadow.
I'm in his shadow. You don't see
it's all
me.
the bright lights. It casts a big shadow.
Yeah, but
I'm in that shadow.
I totally play pro ball. I've never played a game.
Sure.
I've been watch a couple games, but
Hey, you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Stay tuned through the break. We'll be right back. Man, I gotta go.
Mic's off.
I'm gonna coffee up.
You don't want one? You don't want a cup? You found or inherited a great investment property. Problem is, you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started Next Gen Appraisals. Next Gen is a group of appraisers specializing in investment real estate. We understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their property is worth, but a comprehensive analysis of the market. Give NextGen a call at 713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties, whether it's a flip, rehab, or a rental rehab. No more managing it yourself. No more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992.
Hello, real estate investors. Do you need a lender that moves fast at the speed of a jet to fund your investment properties? Jet Lending will help you purchase properties quickly with as little cash out of pocket as possible. Jet Lending also sets up a repair escrow fund to help you with repair costs. Jet Lending has originated over 2,000 loans in Texas, valued at over $250 million. Jet Lending will help you evaluate your deals for free and give you feedback on value, cost of repairs, and potential loan amount. Jet Lending is your fast and friendly hard money source for first-time investors and seasoned professionals. Call 281-872-7800 or email us at info@jetlending.com. Oh, and don't forget about our famous Third Wednesday Super Investor Networking Meeting. Lots of fun, lots of great real estate talk. We'll see you there.
Do you have cracks in your brick, doors that stick, or sheetrock that's coming apart? Then you may have foundation movement. Due to our expansive soils in the Houston area, it's probably not a question of if you have movement, but when. Call Foundation Check for a truly independent, unbiased foundation evaluation. Foundation Check has been in business.
Foundation Check is awesome.
And has
I've been using them a lot lately.
1,400 evaluations.
Good dudes.
We're not in the business of repairing foundations or selling you unnecessary peer work, but we are in the business of evaluating your foundation. Our product is designed for house flippers, landlords, or even owner-occupied properties. Each of our files is reviewed by a licensed engineer. Remember to check before every repair. Call 346-702-3825. That's 346-702-3825. Or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com. That's foundationcheck.com.
Time is money.
All right, Jay, 1 minute.
Okay.
If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes or binders? The agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. We're here for you. Are you a rehabber, wholesaler, buy and hold, or flipper? Bundling your properties on a single policy will help save time and money. Benchmark has been in business for over 10 years, and we insure over 30,000 properties. Contact Benchmark about our exclusive investor package. Call us and let us show you what we can do for you.
Oh, Scott, you're so sweet.
What did he say?
Good morning, gorgeous.
Oh.
569-4353.
Yeah.
Or online at benchmarkbroker.com. That's benchmarkbroker.com. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Yeah, I don't know if Facebook was having a provisioning issue or what, but
it seems to be like a 4-minute delay or something.
Yeah.
So something squirrely's going on. I don't think it's on our end.
All right, fellas, hot mics.
hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio. If you want to give us a call at 713-785-1817. Yeah, Scott's saying,
yes.
Yeah. So you're getting caught up on emails. Nice.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at cars. Bring a Trailer sent me an email this morning, so I'm checking it out.
What kind of car you're looking at?
One of those old BMW 2002s. I always think those are so cool, and then, it's like anything that's a luxury car, Mercedes or BMW, and then you add vintage to it.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a place where, and I already have one of these in my backyard. It's called a money pit.
Yeah, it's that giant sucking sound.
Yeah.
Sucking money out of your wallet.
Really nice pool where I think I just take $1,000 every month and I just throw it right into that hole in the ground. But anyway, so
what's your most recent expense on the pool?
Actually, it's been pretty good. After we replaced the heater last year, it's been pretty sweet.
I was going to say, because I remember the heater story. And has there been any other surprises since the heater?
No, I'll tell you what. If you guys got a pool, and this works really well for landlords too, get a Fin. It's spelled P-H-I-N. And it hooks up to the wireless, and it has an app on your phone. And you just throw this thing in there. It's cute because it looks like a shark. That's why they call it the Fin. It looks like a shark fin. You throw it in the pool, and it's got an optical, like a spectrophotometer in it. It's got something else in it too, where it measures all your pool chemicals, and it automatically sends you a message through the app that says, "Hey, it needs more chlorine, it needs more whatever." But the way the app works, and the way their chemical service works, it doesn't say you need more chlorine. It says, "Go to the green box, put 3 green tablets in."
Oh, nice.
And then it's hooked up to the pool chemical company, and it automatically reorders your chemicals.
Oh, nice.
So it can predict when you need new chemicals. It knows how much you put in, and so it automatically reorders. So we've got one of those.
Somebody put their thinking cap on it.
Oh, my gosh. And you know, it was funny. I said, well, when are they going to get bought out? And they're like, they already did.
Yeah.
And there was a competitor to them. They got bought out even sooner than that, right? Because really it's the chemical companies that are making a lot of money doing that. And then get a Dolphin Nautilus vacuum. And our pool looks better than when we had a pool service. And we're saving, geez, I bet it's $150 a month on pool service. And so my wife's just sitting there, you know, she works from home, so she gets a little message from Finn, put 3 green tablets in, throws it in there. And then our Dolphin Nautilus, we call it Roby. We throw Roby in there and turn him on, and for 2 hours he just runs around, picks up leaves and all that other stuff. It's literally almost no maintenance at all. So once we got all that stuff, and I'm convinced when a house needs a lot of rehab, you can guarantee that the pool needs a lot of rehab. So go ahead and put in a new pool pump.
Yeah.
If it's got a heater, put a new heater in. Start looking for leaks. And it was, you know, at the end of the day last year, I think we spent $6,000-7,000 just doing that stuff to the pool.
But it's cheaper than putting a new pool in.
It is cheaper than putting a new pool in.
Yeah.
But it ain't cheaper than burying it, which is actually my first vote. But
kids like it, right?
Kids love it, and you know I am convinced that the time of year for pools in Texas is when it gets cooler.
Yeah.
We turn the heater on, and it's fun. It's not fun being in a pool when it's 100 degrees outside and the water's 100 degrees. It's just awful. It's like being boiled. So, yeah, the kids absolutely love it. We got a little jacuzzi we get in every now and then. But, yeah, it's worked out well. So
Tim says get an EOS VW. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah. That doesn't sound real exciting.
But you also have a new ride.
Yeah, I got a new truck.
Yeah.
We had to after our last adventure. It won't pull the Tacoma was great, but the gas mileage
I think honestly it's the only truly American-made, Texas-made truck, right?
It is, yeah. I mean, the guys in Toyota are up in Plano,
right?
And the TRD team is there, so they design them up there and they build them in San Antonio.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty. It's a Texas truck, right?
Yeah,
I mean, there's nothing more American than that. So. But so getting back on real estate, there are deals out there.
Yes.
And I think people just now what?
But not during December.
Oh yeah, definitely not during December.
Yeah.
I've said for years, and we've experienced this in Houston House Buyers, some other companies. The fourth quarter is always a crazy quarter to buy houses. There's deals everywhere.
Yeah.
Real estate investors go on vacation for from Thanksgiving until the second week of January.
Right.
We know a lot of guys that do that, and they do a lot of volume, and literally their business shuts down for 6 to 8 weeks. So. Families are getting together. Mm-hmm. Hey, we realize maybe mom can't be alone anymore. We've got to move mom into the house or put her in a home, so we need to sell her house. So there's a lot of this kind of stuff that's going on in the background. Plus, we're going into the new year, which is new year, new me, right?
Yeah, right.
So people are getting rid of houses and moving, and jobs are changing. This is a great time to be buying houses. There are tons of deals out there. I work with a handful of real estate agents. I have them following up on all the offers we made in the last couple of months. Mm-hmm. In fact, we got one in Pasadena under contract last week from follow-up phone calls. So just follow-up phone calls. Hey, man, I see you're still in the market. What's the deal?
Yeah.
And then they get back to us and say, oh, yeah, it fell through. Now we'll take your offer. It's $8,000 or $10,000 less. So I'll tell you, now is the absolute best time to get started. I mean, this is a great time to do it. So that's what we're seeing in Q4. Scott Carson was on a Facebook Live I was doing yesterday, and he has told me in their note business, now's a great time to get into notes because you've got all these asset managers that are liquidating some losers in their portfolio because they've already locked in their profits, and they'd rather do that now than in Q1 when, of course, they have to report those losses to their investors and their fund doesn't look as good. So there's all kinds of really cool activity that takes place around this time of year. So hey, look, get all your shopping done. You should have gotten it all done on Black Friday and Cyber Monday. We did. I think we were completely done in a couple of hours. Get all that done and start buying some real estate. Because I can tell you, looking for deals on Amazon or sitting there on Slick Deals waiting for a pair of pants to go on sale, you could probably spend just that same amount of time on HAR buying real estate.
Yes.
And the real estate's going to give you a little bit better return.
Yeah, real estate's going to give you a fantastic return. It's going to give you not only cash flow, but you're doing a mix because I know like duplexes, for example, they don't appreciate as much as a single family.
They appreciate about half as much.
Right, but they cash flow like a beast.
Cash flow like a beast. So when you look at your portfolio, it's typically you're going to get a mix of equity and cash flow. That's really what you really want to be able to do. And so the small multi-units obviously produce a ton of cash flow, but they appreciate about half as fast.
Yeah.
Although it's kind of crazy, we're buying these 4 beach houses. They bought them 2 years ago at $210, and we're under contract at $330. It'll be interesting to see where it appraises at, but it may have appreciated $120,000. I mean, $60,000 a year. I mean, that's kind of wild. Of course, that's on the beach. It's a little bit different deal, but for the most part, yeah, you're right. It's the appreciation in multi-units is really a derivative in part of the rents.
Right.
Although when you get below that 2 to 25, 2 to 50 units is a really weird market space.
It is, yeah.
It's a lot of fun because there's a lot of disruption in there. It's too small for the big guys to come in and play, and it's a lot of times it's too big for the small guys to play in.
Right.
So there's a lot of really just squirrely stuff that takes place in that marketplace. We just put a 16 unit under contract at $8K a door. And when you look at that deal, they all need rehab. It flooded during Harvey.
I think you described there was 4 upstairs units, and so it's not like you would expect a 16 to be like 8 upstairs, 8 downstairs.
Yeah, it's not like that.
And you've got 12 down and 4 up. So
yeah, and it's a bunch of
got flooded.
Yeah, and it's a bunch of random buildings. Like it's four buildings, like 2 are duplex, one's an. I mean, it's all kind of strange, right? So when you look at that deal,
tough to comp that.
It's really hard to comp. So
it's got to be a cash flow play.
Yeah, well, and you have conversations with, I may take it down with cash and then we'll refinance or we'll bring in a private lender. And so you start having a conversation with these guys and they're like, what do you think it's worth? I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah, right.
Now, on a cash flow basis, we can obviously do it as a multifamily deal. Like the one of the metrics I've learned in the last couple of months is if you take gross cash flow. So on this particular deal, I think it's going to rent for $500 a door. Everybody is telling me wrong. It should rent for $800, but I'm like, let's just do it on 5.
Be conservative, right?
So 500 times 16 is $8,000 times 75 gives you an ARV of $600,000. I think that's really conservative. I've seen gross rent multipliers up to 1.25. But if I'm using a gross rent multiplier of 75, I get an ARV of about $600,000. We're going to be all in for about $400 if I were to guess. So you're like, would you do that deal? It's like, yeah, I think I'd do that.
And then you can always check that number against another metrics, and you just say, okay, well, how much is that a door? And if you take 600 divided by 16 doors, right, now you're in at $37.5 a door.
Yeah, an ARV at $37.5 a door. Yeah, I mean, that's...
Yeah, so the question is, okay, so at $37.5 a door, what's it rent for? $600?
We're calling it $500 a door.
Okay, but some people are telling you $800, right?
Yeah, I'm hearing it's probably closer to $800. And I'm like, well, I can't... Here's the problem.
2 minutes.
So when you get into one of these submarkets and most of the market flooded, what's it rent for? You go back and look at comps for last year. Nobody's finished rehabs enough to really get enough comps. So that also tells you there's a limited amount of supply on the market. So I'm guessing landlords are literally putting a sign in the yard for rent, gone like that. It never even hits MLS. So how do you get a comp for that?
Right.
So you got to go back 2 and 3 years. Anyways. So where's the risk? So now if you're talking about $800 a door, which very well could be, you're looking at 12.8 times 75. Conservatively, it's worth almost $1 million. Divided by 16? That's $60,000 a door. We're seeing stuff trade at 60, 70, 80 grand a door. The smaller the units, typically, the more they trade at per door. So we're buying it cheap enough to where even if we only had it 50% occupied, we're covered. Yeah. So it's like that's kind of hard to screw up.
Okay, the music says we're out of time. So you're listening to Right Path Real Estate, 713-785-1817 if you want to join in the conversation. So Jason and Tom are getting caught up.
Yeah, getting caught up on real estate.
Thanks for staying tuned.
Mike's off.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you can
I got Hatham and them working like double time to get a flood quote on this thing from me. I'm like, I think this will be the only thing that kills the deal. They were paying $10,000 a year for flood insurance on 16 doors. It's in a 100-year floodplain, flooded during Harvey, and then it flooded once before years ago.
Can you put this product or property in their package?
You really
no. It's really designed for single family.
Yeah, that's really designed for single family, like little duplexes and stuff. But when you get into this, it really is a lot more commercial. So
how much it's worth, or more
I don't. It's just easier to do it the other way.
While mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started Next Gen Appraisals. NextGen is a group of appraisers specializing
Hatham was
in
on the
investment
radio
real estate. We
yesterday.
understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their
He was talking
property is worth,
quite a bit
but
about that product.
comprehensive
Apparently,
analysis of the
all they
market.
what they
Give
did with that
NextGen a
product
call
is that
at
when banks were foreclosing on a lot of properties and they really needed to have like a forced placement. That's really
so they were using that as forced placement.
So that's
a good idea.
Yeah, and you realize that if Chase, for example, has 10,000 properties across the country, and they've got to have one blanket policy that covers builder's risk, vacant dwelling. It really has to cover everything, and that's really why the product got created originally.
Well, and that works well because you got a special asset manager. It's like, all right, here's these 3,000 that have gone into that we need to do forced placement on. They probably send one email. They all get scheduled. It's just like part of their whole process, right?
Yeah.
I bet inside their CRM on the back end, you can click one button, right?
Right.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Each of our files
You almost wonder with guys that big why you don't self-insure, but they're not a direct asset owner, right? They're a bank, so that's probably why they don't do it.
That's 346.
I think if I ran a small bank, I'd do it.
Or you can
They're just self-insured for this stuff.
FoundationCheck.com. That's FoundationCheck.com.
Just give me like a.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor?
Some
for
big
your
cat
investment
coverage.
property?
Yep.
Then call Fast Track Remodeling
Like a $5 million deductible or something.
Yep. 9992, or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Ho ho ho! Higher returns. That's what I'm talking about, Scott.
Single-family investment properties, whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of.
What is this VW EOS you speak of?
Standardized process.
I think
Over
it's
the
a little
last 6
convertible.
years,
I have seen
we've
this.
completed
Yeah,
over
this thing's pretty
700
cool.
projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys
I don't know that I'd
success.
ever own a Volkswagen
Use a
again.
detailed scope of work so that everything gets done.
Yeah, here's this.
Train
Let's see
and
what this
maintain
is.
Quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself, no more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992, or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
1 minute.
Hello, real estate investors. Do you need a lender that moves fast at the speed of a jet to fund your investment properties? Jet Lending will help you purchase properties quickly with as little cash out of pocket as possible. Jet Lending also sets up a repair escrow fund.
I'm meeting with a multifamily guy today for lunch. One of the contacts we have in California is in Houston right now.
Jet Lending will help you evaluate your
Tens
deals
of
for free
thousands of doors. I'm
and
going to say,
get
hey,
back
can you
on
look at this
value,
one? I want to make sure I'm not about to do
repairs,
something real
potential loan
stupid.
amount. Jet Lending is your fast and friendly hard money source for first-time investors and seasoned professionals. Call 281-872-7800 or email us at info@jetlending.com. Oh, and don't forget about our famous Third Wednesday Super Investor Networking Meeting.
Oh, he said it's like a
Lots of fun,
GTI,
lots
Golf
of great
GTI without a
real estate
roof.
talk.
That's
We'll
pretty
see you
cool.
there.
This is Business 1110.
Hot mics.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate. We're in the last 4 minutes of the show. Just want to tell you that we're going to do a free wealth and income through real estate workshop tomorrow at noon. At noon o'clock.
Noon o'clock.
Noon o'clock in our office. That's 12 p.m. Don't show up at midnight. That's the 12 a.m. We won't be here then.
That's the post-networking party.
Yeah, right. So at noon o'clock here in our office, 13501 Katy Freeway, all you need to do is head over to our website, rightpathrealestate.com. Register for the event. It is free. You could try talking me down on the price, but you wouldn't have much success. And it's really where we give the overview of why real estate, why now, why in the marketplace, how real estate compares to a 401k or IRA. You know, it's amazing to me, and I'll have to share this with you, that I've been asking every single person that's coming up to our free workshop, hey, do you have a 401k? And 99% of the people do.
Yeah.
And then I say, okay, now you realize that in 401k, I assume that your 401k has some stocks in there, right? And so, and stocks are really a portion ownership in a business.
Right.
And so if you're going to buy a business, do you want to buy a business low or buy it high? And most people say, well, Economics 101, I know I want to buy a business low. Okay, so great. So do you know what stocks are in your 401k?
No.
What percentage of the people do you think don't know?
All of them.
All of well, it's really it's about 95 out of 100. Yeah. So 4 or 5 people said, "Yeah, I know all 25 stocks in it." And because I say, well, if you don't even know what you own, how do you know if you've bought low or you've bought high?
I have no idea.
Yeah, right. And then I'm like, okay, is that really the kind of strategy that's going to get you where you want to be in retirement? And they're like, oh man, I never thought of it like that. And these are smart people. These are people that are successful in life. These are people that have a net worth in their 401k. And I just realized, there is a difference over the long haul between making 7% on your money and making 35% on your money. And it's exponential by such an extreme amount that what you're not doing to basically own your outcome is massive in terms of where you're trying to get to.
I will tell you this, the new number, we've talked about the rule of 25 before, but I'll tell you the new number, at least the last article I read from MSNBC, you need $5 million to retire.
Yeah.
That's the number. At least $5 million.
And the average retirement?
Yeah, and the average retirement is
$65,000.
Oh, is it 65? You probably have to look at the median because there's a lot of people that don't have anything, right? But that other number I'm hearing, Grant Cardone mentioned it the other day, is $10 million.
Yeah.
So, and here's what I can tell you.
And that's not to have the private jet that Grant Cardone.
That's $10 million just to fuel the thing every year, right? So it's like, look, you need a lot more money you think you need.
Yeah.
And 7% rates of return in the stock market, and you quote saving your way to retirement, you're not going to make it.
Right.
You're just not going to make it.
That's exactly right. Okay, so the announcement to make that I'm going to be on the radio back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. I'll be here also on Friday. And then you're going to be doing the radio show. I'm going to be out next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So you're going to be on the radio show on Monday and on Wednesday.
Yep.
And then Daniel's going to be doing the show on Tuesday. So
I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. So and then well, thanks for coming in. It's been
great. Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So okay, well then, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we're out. So I'll be back in tomorrow with Build Your Team Thursday. So thanks for staying tuned. Have a great day. Bye.